Look up. For as long as humans have walked the earth, we've watched the skies. And for just as long, we've seen things we couldn't explain. Formations of lights, processions of beings, armies in the heavens. Ancient writers recorded them, but later translators softened them. They told us the Bible spoke of choirs of angels singing above the clouds. But what if that's not what the words really meant? What if the scriptures describe not choirs, but armies in the skies? The Hebrew word Hashamayim was, and still is, mistranslated by the church as heaven. When you read the hosts of heaven, you imagine clouds, harps, shining angels. But Hashamayim doesn't mean heaven. In its original form, it means the skies. And the Hebrew word Tzavaot, often rendered by the church as hosts, doesn't mean choir. It literally means armies. Put them together and you get the armies of the skies. Not metaphors, not poetry, not invisible choirs of spirits, but armies in the sky. Now ask yourself, why would translators purposely change this? Why turn armies into hosts and skies into heaven? Because armies are threatening. Armies suggest conflict, weapons, battles, invasion. But hosts of heaven? That sounds safe, spiritual, comforting. Once again, a purposeful mistranslation stripped the danger from the text. It turned what may have been records of aerial battles into sanitized hymns. It removed the possibility that the Bible was describing real forces above our heads. Throughout Scripture, God is called Yahweh Tzavaot, translated, the Lord of hosts. But if we are honest with the Hebrew translation, then it means a person of high rank of sky armies. That changes everything. Instead of a spiritual father leading angelic choirs, we're looking at a general commanding forces that moved in the skies. Now think about that. The Bible's God, framed not only as creator, but as commander of aerial forces. And here's where Robert Kirk returns to our story. In The Secret Commonwealth, Kirk recorded the Highland belief that the fair folk traveled in troops. Not solitary spirits, but processions, armies, hosts moving across the hills and skies. Invisible to most, but glimpsed by those with second sight, moving in formation, appearing and disappearing at will. Sound familiar? It should, because it mirrors the Bible's description of Hashamayim, the sky armies. Kirk believed these stories were not mere superstition. They were parallel accounts of the same phenomena, the hidden commonwealth and the armies of heaven, perhaps one and the same. Now, step forward to our own time. People still look to the skies, and they still see formations of lights, moving in ways no human craft should. Reports of fleets, squadrons, processions in the sky. Some dismiss them, others whisper, these are the same armies described in Scripture, the same hosts Kirk's Highlanders feared. The difference? Today we call them sightings, UAPs, UFOs. Back then, they called them Hashamayim. So what are we left with? A Bible that speaks of hosts of heaven, but in its original words describes armies of the skies. A God who is not merely a shepherd, but a commander of aerial forces. And a Scottish minister who recorded that his people too saw troops of hidden beings moving across the land. Different times, different languages, but perhaps the same armies. And when translators purposely changed armies into hosts, what were they trying to hide? And more importantly, are those armies still above us today? This is what Unclassified. And this was episode 4, The Sky Armies, Hashamayim Unveiled. If this episode made you look at the skies a little differently, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, because next time, we'll pull back the veil even further into the battles of these sky armies and the possibility that humanity was caught in the crossfire.